In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness, there is no God but God, and Prophet Muhammad is his slave and messenger, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. So in this video, I'll be discussing how Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will not be yielding to the sinful, the ungrateful, and the disbelievers. That Imam Mahdi will be friends and very close with Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, and will be implementing and following and teaching divine law and teaching the revelations of God and all the different scriptures that Allah has blessed mankind with. So an important thing to understand is choice. Allah gives lots of verses in the Quran that discuss about free will, that you have the right to choose. It's very important to understand between right and wrong, and the law of cause and consequence, the law of cause and effect. As Allah says in chapter 95, verse 5, according to our law of cause and consequence, we degrade him to the lowest of the low if he does evil deeds. So by doing evil deeds, you will manifest a lower world, and if you do righteous deeds, you will manifest yourself into a higher world, a more vibrant, more paradise type of world. And this is how Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, will manifest peace on earth. A global peace will eradicate all the injustice on this earth by obviously implementing and explaining and teaching divine law to the world. So I have some Quran verses here to help us understand Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, and help us understand in our own lives and to help us prepare for when Imam Mahdi and the Mashiach will appear. So we'll go to chapter 76, verse 3 to 5. Verily, we have shown him the path clearly, giving him the full choice, whether to be grateful or ungrateful. So Allah has given us the choice to be grateful or ungrateful. So it's very important to be always grateful for all the things Allah has blessed us with. Even some of the trials that Allah has put us through is only to help us to improve and to guide us onto the right path, because we probably, through the law of cause and consequence, made a bad choice, and then we were feeling the effects of that choice, and it is a way to remedy us and help us to manifest in a more pure and more harmonious and righteous way of manifesting, so we can experience a blissful and paradise state. So verse 4, the next verse, we have indeed prepared for the ungrateful chains and shackles and the blazing fire. The virtuous shall truly drink of a cup of tempered of camphor, a symbol of purity and coolness. So this is Allah describing a hellfire and a paradise. So people in paradise will be drinking beautiful drinks. They'll have great smells and great tastes that are beyond our comprehension in this world. And there's people that have fire, the people who are ungrateful, the sinful, the disbelievers in the creator of the world. Allah has prepared them chains, shackles, and the blazing fire for them. So it's very important for us to be always grateful, to be humble and grateful. So we're going to go to chapter 76, verse 24. And this is help us understand that Imam Mahdi and Mashiach will be obviously following divine law. And this is what Allah says: therefore abide perseveringly by the commandments of your Lord. So Imam Mahdi will obviously be persevering and abiding by the commandments of his Lord, and await for the fulfillment of the prophecies, and yield to none of the sinful and ungrateful disbelievers. So Allah is saying not to yield to none of the sinful and ungrateful disbelievers. So Imam Mahdi will not be yielding to the sinful disbelievers, that is the legislators of this world. They legislate what Allah makes lawful, unlawful, and what Allah makes lawful, they make it unlawful. Like for you to travel without you can't travel without car insurance, for example. That goes against divine law. They sell alcohol that goes against divine law. So many things, all these different types of paperwork and licenses to trade, that goes against divine law. Allah gave everybody the right to trade, the right to travel. These are just basic, and any restrictions in these are going against divine law. So there should be, you don't need a piece of plastic or a sticker or insurance or a piece of metal to have the right to travel. Everyone has the right to travel. Unless you're making some sort of mischief in the land, then your travel can be restricted. But if you're traveling within harmony and balance, in order, in peace, you're not creating any mischief, you have the right to travel. So these are just some examples how the legislators, and they use this to control the people, to extort their wealth through all the fines and etc. and all their legalities that have no basis in reality. That Imam Mahdi will not be following these disbelievers. These are sinful people, these are disbelievers, and they're ungrateful to the creator of the universe. So Imam Mahdi will not be yielding to these people, and will be obviously persevering in following the commandments of the creator of the universe. So we'll just read this verse one more time. It's a very intriguing and powerful verse. Therefore, abide perseveringly by the commandments of your Lord, and await for the fulfillment of the prophecies, and yield to none of the sinful and ungrateful disbelievers. So another thing Allah says here is, and await for the fulfillment of the prophecies. So there is a prophecy of Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, and for us to await Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. So it's very important for us to wait. I hear several imams of Muslim imams saying that we don't wait for Imam Mahdi, we just go on with our lives, we don't wait for him. This is incorrect stance, that we should be awaiting Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. We should be preparing ourselves, so when he appears, that we can make it more easier for Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, and possibly hasten the appearance of Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. So it's very important that we wait these prophecies, and anybody says that you should not wait is incorrect, as the law clearly states here. So we're going to go to the same chapter, 76, 29 to 31, and this is discussing that we should be a true believer should wish in the way of Allah, that what Allah wishes for us, we should be happy with that and grateful for that. So verse 29, verily this Quran is a reminder, so let him who wishes take a way to his Lord. So whoever, Allah is giving us free choice, free will, as Allah clearly states in the Quran many times about free will. So let him who wishes take a way to his Lord. So whoever wishes can take the way of his Lord. So Allah gave us a way through his commandments and laws, and whoever wishes to follow them can follow them. And the next verse says, and you, true believers, should wish no other way except as Allah wishes for you. Verily Allah is the all-knowing, all-wise. So Allah is the all-knowing, the all-wise, and it's just wise to take the ways that Allah has prescribed for us. So if you're a true believer, you'll wish no other way except as Allah wishes for you. And the next verse, 31, he admits to his mercy who he wish and strives for it, and to the wrongdoers he is prepared a woeful punishment for them. So this is again the law of cause and consequence. So whoever wishes to strive for the way of God, Allah will give him the guidance and admit his mercy to him. And those who do not, the wrongdoers, he has prepared a woeful punishment for them. So this goes again to understand the law of cause and consequence, which is very important for us to understand. So we're going to go to chapter 77, verses 1 through 6, and this is to help us understand more about how Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach, will be implementing his techniques. Obviously, he's going to learn from the unique creator of all that exists. Obviously, Allah is the all-knowing, the all-hearing, the all-wise. So it doesn't, it's, you know, it just makes sense to follow what the way of Allah has prescribed for us. So chapter 77, verse 1, I call to witness those messengers of truth. So he's calling to the messengers of truth with Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. Will be Allah is addressing Imam Mahdi the Mashiach in these verses here. So I call to witness those messengers of truth who are sent forth to spread goodness in continual series. So Imam Mahdi will be sent, the Mashiach will be sent forth to spread goodness in a continual series. So we'll be teaching continually, will be implementing divine law continually, and will not be yielding to the sinful, ungrateful disbelievers. So the next verse says, those that drive off forcefully falsehood and forces of evil as chaff is carried before the wind. So Imam Mahdi will be driving forcefully off falsehoods and driving off the forces of evil by delivering truth, by speaking the truth. Falsehood will vanish, and will be forcefully, through his actions, will also be driving away evil. And those that spread the truth far and wide. So Imam Mahdi, like I said before, will be teaching the divine revelations of God, will be explaining them, and obviously we'll probably using the internet through videos, I'm sure, at some point, to spread the message far and wide. Obviously, Imam Mahdi the Mashiach would be wise to use the internet to spread truth far and wide. The next verse, and those that fully distinguish the right from the wrong. So Imam Mahdi will obviously know divine law between what's right and what's wrong. So I hear a lot of new age people in the spiritual community say, oh, do not judge, don't judge me, judgment is wrong. This is a complete wrong way of thinking, that we need to know we need to be able to judge correctly between what's right and what's wrong, with discernment to distinguish between right and wrong. Does not mean we have to we can judge and also overlook people's overlook and forgive people's actions if they've done wrong, but we still need to understand in our own selves what between right and wrong. Like we're not having and if fulfilling your lusts outside of marriage is a sin, for example, that is that is a wrongdoing if you fulfill your lust outside of marriage. For example, stealing is obviously a wrongdoing. Like, these are just basic judgments and distinguish between right and wrong that people need to understand. So Imam Mahdi will be fully distinguished between what's wrong and what's right. And those carrying the message of rising to eminence far and wide, the Quran. So Imam Mahdi will be using the Quran and other, like the Torah and the Gospels of Jesus, to help people rise to eminence by carrying this message far and wide. Allah says that many times in the Quran that the book of bliss, the book of perfect law, the Quran, can help the nations rise to eminence. And the last verse for this video, and those presenting this source of eminence in attempt to purify some of the abominations of sin and to warn others. So Imam Mahdi will be using the Quran to purify the sins of others and to help warn the other people of their wrongdoings, to help purify the world, to help bring a beautiful paradise state, to bring peace to the world and the injustice. And this is done through the law of cause and consequence, to help people understand their choices affect this reality, your choices and thoughts and actions manifest in this world. So like Allah says, in chapter 95 verse 5, according to our law of cause and consequence, we degrade him to the lowest of the low if he does evil deeds. So it's very important for us not to do evil deeds, for us to do righteous deeds, deeds that will help raise us in light, raise us closer to the unique creator of all that exists, to strengthen our hearts and to purify our minds, purify our hearts, purify our bodies, and to purify our actions, etc. So we can live in a more blissful and a more harmonious state with our Creator and the creation itself. This can obviously be achieved, and this is by implementing these 6 verses that I just mentioned, and Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will be the one leading in this way and teaching in divine law, to understand that we have a choice, and then there's consequences to these choices. And Imam Mahdi will be persevering in teaching in divine law and not yielding to the sinful, ungrateful disbelievers. So this is just to help us understand Imam Mahdi, that we should await Imam Mahdi, we should await all the prophecies that Allah has shown through his messengers and through the scriptures as well, that we should await Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. Anybody who says you should not wait Imam Mahdi the Mashiach is not on the truth in that respect. And so we should be awaiting Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. I feel we should be more talk about this. I feel there's a bit of a lack about talking about Imam Mahdi the Mashiach in the world. I try to always keep this up. I love talking about this subject. It really strengthens my heart. It really brings me closer to the unique creator of all that exists. So I really enjoy and I'm grateful that I can make these videos, and I hope that this video was very helpful and help you bring you closer to the unique creator of all that exists, increase you in light and understanding and peace and harmony. And may Allah protect all the believers and increase us in light and knowledge. And may we await Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.